इस प्रोग्राम को आप तक पहुंचाने के लिए हमारे साथ ताउन किया है।
ये ऑफर डॉलन्स की वसी रेंज पर दस्तयाब है। डॉलन्स इन यू, मेकिंग पाकिस्तान प्राउड।
Every country in the region has an absolute duty to ensure that terrorists find no sanctuary on their soil. I am speaking, of course, of Iran. From Lebanon to Iraq to Yemen, Iran funds arms and trains terrorists, militias, and other extremist groups that spread destruction and chaos across the region.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम, मैं हूं मुनीज़ा जहांगीर और आप देख रहे हैं प्रोग्राम स्पॉटलाइट। नाजरीन, सबकी तोपों का रुख ईरान की जानिब है और हाल ही में मुत्तहद अरब अमीरात, सऊदी अरब, बहरीन, मिस्र, यमन और यहां तक मालदीव्स ने भी कतर से अपनी सफारती ताल्लुकात मुनक़ता कर दिए हैं, सिर्फ इसलिए चूंकि इनका मानना है कि कतर दहशतगर्दी को फरोग दे रहा है। लेकिन हर कोई जानता है कि कतर दरअसल ईरान से करीब है। इस तनाजुर में ईरान का क्या रद्द-ए-अमल होगा? ये वो मुल्क है जो अमेरिका को भी आंखें दिखाता रहा है। हाल ही में पाक ईरान ताल्लुकात में भी गिरावट आई है। पाकिस्तान ने ईरान पर इल्जाम लगाया था कि वो भारतीय एजेंट कुलभूषण यादव को पनाह दे रहा था, जबकि ईरान ने पाकिस्तान पर इल्जाम लगाया था कि पाकिस्तान शिया मुखालिफ दहशतगर्द ग्रुपों का कला कमा करने से हिचकिचा रहा है। पाकिस्तान और ईरान के ताल्लुकात कैसे हैं और किस सिमत में जा रहे हैं, ये जानने के लिए हमने पाकिस्तान में मौजूद ईरानी सफीर मेहदी हुनरदोस्त से पूछा कि अरब ममालिक की जानिब से कतर से किनारा कशी और उनसे डिप्लोमेटिक टाइज कट करने के इकदाम को ईरान कैसे देखता है। क्या ईरान अपने दोस्तों पर जोर देगा कि वो कतर का साथ देने के लिए आगे बढ़े और क्या अपने जो अरब ममालिक हैं उनको रैली करेगा ताकि कतर की कोई मदद हो सके। तो आइए देखते हैं उन्होंने क्या कहा।
It is totally matters between Qatar and some Arab states, but something that we can recommend as a big country in the region that will be impacted by any tension. We ask to all of the Arab countries that we have good relation with them, with some of them, that it is better when we have a lot of disasters and catastrophic events in the globe of Islam. It is better we don't put more.
Where do you see Pakistan's role? Pakistan is between Saudi Arabia, good relations with Saudi Arabia, also good relations with Qatar. Pakistan has yet to chalk out its strategy vis-a-vis what it's going to do about the Qatar crisis. What do you expect from Pakistan as a neighbor?
You know, Pakistan really has a very good potential as a big Islamic country and one of the member of the Islamic families. And something that really very good is that the Pakistan shows in the recent years that this country tried the best for settle down the tensions. And for example, the Pakistan from the beginning of the tension between Iran and Saudi Arabia, they comes as a mediation between two countries. Of course, the gap between Iran and Saudi Arabia is not so, it is so bigger than will be solved by any actions like as this. But this is very good effort by the Pakistan.
So you would like to see Pakistan as a mediator between Saudi Arabia and Iran?
We said welcome, not only to Pakistan, to all of the countries, because we believe that any tension between Iran and Saudi Arabia is not benefit to us.
So in the crisis with Qatar, Pakistan would play its role. You expect, as Iran, Pakistan to play the role of a mediator between Saudi Arabia and Iran in order to bridge the gap. That could be Pakistan's role. Well, that brings me to the next question. President Rouhani sent a letter, if you remember, to Kuwait in February of this year. What was in that letter? Was it a letter to try and start a dialogue with the GCC countries? Was it a letter to try and bridge the gap between Iran and Saudi Arabia and basically to extend an olive branch to all the Arab nations now boycotting Qatar?
That was generally about the atmosphere of the brotherly and friendship should be in the region. We asked not only to this country, but to all of the countries for come together. You know,
What response did you get?
I don't know exactly what was the written response, but something that we asked to all of the countries in the region.
Right,
PGCC,
right.
Persian Gulf countries around, and also the big countries as the Pakistan and some others, that it is the time that should be put the end to the tension among the countries.
But Excellency, unfortunately, the tension between Pakistan and Iran has been quite tense in the last few days. So let me come to that. Firstly, how, as the top diplomat of Iran, how difficult has it been for you to develop diplomatic relations with Pakistan recently? What have been the major challenges?
Let me tell the first, there is no tension between Iran and Pakistan. No accident and no development can impact the relation between Iran and Pakistan. Of course, among the two brothers, sometimes they have some misunderstanding. You know, we have very long border between Iran and Pakistan. And sometimes we have some accident there. Anybody knows that any terrorist activities in the border is not benefit to Pakistan and Iran. We asked from our brothers here that we should have cooperation and co-interaction for counter-terrorist attacks.
The border management. I will come to
Exactly.
that in the later part of the interview. But back to Saudi Arabia, you know, recently our advisor to Prime Minister on Foreign Affairs, Mr. Sartaj Aziz, made a statement in the Senate, and he said that our troops are committed just for the protection of Saudi Arabia, that if Saudi Arabia is threatened, they will just remain on Saudi Arabia soil. How does Iran see that statement? Harmain Sharifan, he said.
You know,
the only protection, the Harmain Sharifan.
we have something like this position. We believe that the Haramain Sharifain, they are more important for all of the Muslim world, and so we are welcome to comes for defending for any threat against the Haramain Sharifain. Which country attacked? Which country is would like to attack or would like to damage to this Haramain Sharifin? No Islamic countries in the world can ignore. No Islamic in the world can, avert their eyes to this matter. It means that the Saudi Arabia is also very important for us.
Okay, that's very good news indeed. Now, you place a lot of value with your relationship with Pakistan. What do you expect out of Pakistan vis-a-vis their relationship with Saudi Arabia?
Before that, we are the diplomat, we are Muslim. And all of us, we believe that one day we should answer to the God Almighty for all of our behavior when we were living in the
Right.
this life.
Right.
How much you can look at the chaotic situation in the Islamic countries. How many Islamic countries, one by one, they collapsed. All of the Muslim countries, especially Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, Iran, and others, they should set aside excuses. And that is enough. They should come together. It means that they are expected from Pakistan that continue to their role for mediation among all of the countries that they have conflict.
So that brings me to another question, perhaps a more controversial issue between Pakistan and Iran. When our former Chief of Army Staff, General Raheel Sharif, was appointed as the head of the military Saudi-led alliance, your country wasn't exactly happy about it. You said that yes, the Pakistanis had already told you that he has been appointed, but you weren't exactly happy. Now, our National Security Advisor, Mr. Nasir Janjua, says that his appointment will benefit even Iran. Do you think that his appointment has benefited your country?
From the first day that we received the news, we said that we are not convinced about it. And the Riyadh summit proved our claim. You know, from the first day we said and we requested to our brothers in Pakistan that we are afraid that some third countries, that they are not convinced about our good and brotherly and friendly relation between Iran and Pakistan. They make a slippery slope. And right now we believe that any gathering under the name of any coalition is not benefit to Islamic world.
So you don't see his appointment as benefiting Iran in any way?
Of course, if they do something else, maybe. But if you comes under the Saudi Arabia's coalition's leadership, they are under the fire. They will be impacted. How can we say that it is the benefit to Iran?
So will this in some ways create more tension between Pakistan and Iran?
Our relation between two countries, Iran and Pakistan, they are more stronger that they will be impacted by any factors like as the Mr. Rahil Sharif goes and join to the coalition.
Okay.
It is the first. It is the first. But as we expected, and we asked and from our brothers here, that all of the negative side effect of this matter come back to all of the countries. We are not concerned about ourselves. We believe that it has negative impact among the Muslim countries.
All right.
If it is the coalition against terrorism, why the most important countries that they are victim of the terrorism are not the member of this coalition?
When the former Chief of Army Staff, General Rahil Sharif, was being appointed, was Iran approached and asked whether this is something that they would be okay with?
Of course, they have, favor opinion for sharing the views with the Iranian side, but it is not enough.
It is not enough.
Pakistan shows that they are so wise. Exactly in the Yemen crisis 3 years back. Less than 3 years back.
There was a parliamentary resolution.
Exactly, they did the best. Why this small country, poor countries like as the Yemen, should be under the attack of some big neighbors, and some others they goes for the support of the big neighbors?
Right.
It is really total out of the morality of the Islamic, and we encouraged the Pakistan, and we said welcome to the decision by the Pakistanians.
Okay, sir. Now we have to go for a break, और break के बाद हम बात करेंगे borders skirmishes के ऊपर. हमने देखा है कि किस तरह ईरान और पाकिस्तान के दरमियान तनाव बढ़ता चला गया है पिछले कुछ दिनों, पिछले कुछ हफ्तों के अंदर. वो बहुत सारे सवालात हैं, तर्क सवालात हैं, पूछेंगे His Excellency से इस वक्फे के बाद. वेलकम बैक नाजरीन. हमारे साथ एक बहुत ही खास मेहमान हैं पाकिस्तान में ईरान के सफ़ीर हिज एक्सेलेंसी मेहदी हुनरदूस साहब. कुछ तल्ख सवालात अब आपसे करने हैं. Some hard questions coming your way, sir. Regarding the border security between Pakistan and Iran, we have seen that in the last few months there have been skirmishes on the border, and Iran accused Pakistan of being behind the killings of 10 security forces there in Balochistan, Sistan. Now, has the border mechanism that you've already developed worked to your liking? Has that resolved the crisis, and the militants who want to create some kind of tension between Pakistan and Iran, has it addressed that problem?
This interaction 100% will be succeed. But we believe that now there's something that really as a good response by the Pakistani side is that they gave a positive answer to the Iranian requests, and the both side, relevant department and authorities of the two sides, they have a few sessions, and they reached to agreements for kickoff and starting the more attention in the region for counter-attack of the terrorism.
So your expectation is that there should be more meeting for counter-terrorism between Pakistan and Iran, if I'm getting it correct. But are you satisfied, sir, that the border security that has been sent to the Iranian border, it will address the militants that you claim are attacking your country?
Something that is under negotiation right now is exactly this. Something that we emphasize about it, that the Pakistanians and Iranians militaries battalion, they should come together, and they should do an act against the terrorists that they are scattered and they are harboring in the area. We after the attack of the terrorists to our post guard, really the Iranian Foreign Ministry and our parliament and our government, they became under the attack, under the pressure of the victims, and especially by one of them, that our young soldier that he is captured and injured right now is under the hand of terrorists. And so the reaction of the Iranian side was that Iran expects from the Pakistans that comes and shaking hands with the Iranian side for counter-terrorism measures and actions. But we received, unfortunately, it was not the first time that some newspapers, they select out and selective approach by some Iranian top militaries communicate regarding to the matter that Iran is ready to do military striking inside Pakistan.
That was not the case, sir?
It means exactly cooperation by the Pakistanis, because nobody, according to the international regulation, nobody can interfere and coming without any permission by the other countries. They come to their territories.
It was Major General Muhammad Bakri, the head of the Iranian Armed Forces, who was quoted as saying, "We expect the Pakistani officials to control the borders and arrest the terrorists and shut down their bases. If the terrorist attacks continue, we will hit their safe havens and cells wherever they are."
Okay, it has different it is not the meaning of that some papers that they're trying to flare up the matters. Exactly according to international regulations and the United Nations charters, you are able to preserve your security. And the terrorists, they have no ideology. They have no red line. It means that it is the responsibility for all of the countries around this area that unfortunately, we received a lot of terrorist activities in the region. It means that Iran, something that elaborated the matter, that he is waiting for the Pakistani cooperation for anti-terrorist activities. And it doesn't mean that Iran comes to the Pakistan territories.
All right. So you have cleared out that statement, which is, I'm glad that it didn't mean that Iran would enter Pakistani territory and attack safe havens of militants. I'm glad that you got that clarified, because that was a big concern to Pakistan, which brings me to the next question. Iran has repeatedly accused Pakistan of harboring certain terrorists in Pakistani territory, attacking Sistan, Balochistan, one of them being Jandullah. Now, what do you know about these groups? Do you really believe that Pakistan is doing so because Pakistan's position has remained that Iran is our neighbor, that we want good neighborly relations with Iran?
As I said, Iran and Pakistan has a long border. In the border, we have some tribes that they are living around the borders, and Pakistan, because of their looking to this border as a brotherly and friendship border, they have no troops there. Okay.
Around the Sistan Balochistan
Around the
border.
Sistan Balochistan.
All right.
And Iranians also, they look at the area, they have no militaries there, because they never look at it,
with
this
suspicion.
border as a, for example, the border between two hostile border. If this border was not as a brotherly and friendly border between two countries, they never could able to succeed
So why don't you beef up security on your side? The question.
Yes, it is a
question.
long border. It is very long border.
We'll take a short break, but after the break, we will talk about the real points of contention between Iran and Pakistan right after this break. वेलकम बैक। इस वक्त हम बात कर रहे हैं पाकिस्तान में ईरान सफीर से, हिज एक्सेलेंसी मेहदी हुनरदूस से। कुलभूषण यादव, that's been a point of contention between Iran and Pakistan. Pakistan continues to say that Kulbhushan Yadav was caught while crossing over from Iran into Pakistan. India says he was kidnapped from Chabahar. You have done your investigation. What conclusion have you come out to?
First, let me tell you something. You know, Iran in the last 4 decades were under the sanctions. And after the 5+1 agreement, we have the new atmosphere of the cooperation with all of the countries in the world, especially in the regional partners and also countries. And so we said welcome to any countries that they want to have cooperation exactly, especially in trade and business with Iran. Kulbhushan issue is something exactly between Pakistan and India. It has nothing to do with us. Something that right now our brothers in Pakistan, they are convinced about it, that Iran never and never and never gave any opportunity to any countries in the world for misuse the Iranian territories for comes against Pakistan. And so it is definitely clear, and nobody's asked about it. And we are.
No, are you saying that the Pakistani diplomats have not asked you about your conclusion of your own investigation into the Kulbhushan Yadav incident, sir?
No. They can do everything about for that guy, but they never comes again about this matter that that guy misused the Iranian territories against Pakistan.
So the case is now shut as far as Pakistani diplomatic, your relationship with Pakistan is concerned.
Because
the Kulbhushan Yadav case.
We criticized some newspapers during our president here visits, and we criticized them that we never expected that you, during exactly the visit of our president, you write some false question about your cohesive.
But His Excellency, if you remember, when President Rouhani came, there was a tweet sent out by DGISPR in which the DGISPR said that President Rouhani, when speaking to the Chief of Army Staff, the Chief of Army Staff talked about RAW's involvement in Iran. And then President Rouhani had to reject that statement. So it wasn't coming from the media, sir. It was a tweet by the DGISPR at the time, sir.
Press release that our embassy issued. We said that anybody can come to Chabahar under any name, any activities, but in legal and frame, under the frame. If you find anybody from any nationalities, from all of your around the borders, you can never say that that country gave facilities to that guy.
So what you're saying is that your intelligence agencies, your officials did not know of this man, Kulbhushan Yadav, who may have been in Iran.
And also, up to now, we never accepted that he had any spying in misuse the Iranians. Because if we receive to this matter that guys, during his staying in Iran, they have misused the Iranian facilities, of course, we will be against of this matter.
All right. So
it means that something that we said, this guy was a trader, as jewelry, I think I heard.
Yes, he used to sell jewelry, Chabahar, yeah.
And we reached to no document that he has spying there, because according to Iranian interests, according to the Iranian commonalities, according to the Iranian wills and desires, and looking to the neighboring country and top of them to Pakistan, how and for what
Would he
Iran-
be spying there? So what you're saying is that you're confirming that he was a jewelry shop owner in Chabahar, but he was not involved in espionage on Iranian soil.
I cannot say, my dear sister. I cannot say because it's not my business. But something that totally we opposed.
So there has been another accusation, I'm sure you know about it, is by Uzair Baloch. He was a Liari gangster who was arrested in Karachi. There was a JIT joint investigation team in which he recorded his statement. And he said in that statement that he had met Iranian intelligence officers who offered him a home in Tehran. And his friend who was living with him, Malik Baloch, he said he met him in Chabahar, and he said that he'll take him to Tehran, give him a house there, introduce him to Iranian intelligence officers in return to do some kind of terrorist activities in Karachi and some information.
My dear sister, Iran is one of the biggest country in the world and biggest target and the goals, and also he engaged with some big countries in the world for decades after revolution. According to our values, we are against the American arrogance, and so we have a lot of giant project for do this. Would you please tell me, Iran, with these huge potentials and as a rich country, would you please tell me one small interest of the Iranian, what to say,
Uzair Baloch?
would you please tell me what will be the interest of the Iranian as a big country in the region and one of the richest country in the world, and with a lot of big deal with the international, what is our interest to comes to cooperation with this guy?
All right, so you refute it at the outset.
system.
Now, let me come to a subject that you like, because you've done economics, trade. Pakistan has recently announced that it's going to be part of this big CPEC. We are in the middle of the CPEC, and you yourself announced at one of the seminars that Iran is very interested in becoming part of the CPEC project. What will Iran bring to the table if you do become part of the CPEC project?
The first I should tell this matter that Iran believes that the CPEC is not only the trade project, and we need some major elements for
Binding us.
binding some big countries in the region.
CPEC,
Because
you see CPEC as one of those?
It has
Okay.
potentials.
But
CPEC
what will Iran bring to the table, sir?
CPEC without the energy is not complete. And Iran is the only source of the energy that can come to the CPEC.
But sir, what about the IP pipeline, the Iran-Pakistan pipeline? Why is it taking so long? We've been talking about it for years now.
Please,
Where's the problem?
Please ask this question to your authorities. And exactly the Iranian gas can change the face of the Pakistan exactly when you compare with their rivals in the region.
But we have just signed a deal, an LNG deal with Doha. Do you still think there's room for the IP pipeline?
Nobody can compare the LNG and LPG with the Iranian IP. Pakistan imports.
So what you're suggesting really
LPG.
is that the blockade, the real challenge is that Pakistan has not started work on its own side.
Yeah.
Is that the way it's going? Do you suspect that it'll happen in the few months, and what are the challenges you see to that
No, it is
pipeline?
maybe some part of it was the pressure by some countries.
America, of course,
Yes.
the big elephant,
Yes.
white elephant in the room.
Yes.
So it brings me to the
My dear sister, Iranian gas is under your access. Of course, gas is a commodity that you, the first, should be find the user, and after that you pull out from the earth. It's not the commodity you take in your hand and come to the market because somebody comes to buy it.
That's correct. That's
Okay.
correct. Right.
But we have spent $2 billion for this project. $2 billion. We have spent $2 billion for pipeline from the Iranian Asaluye comes to your borders, close to your borders. And it means that we are waiting for the Pakistani brothers for the fulfillment their commitments.
All right.
And so, you know, Iranian gas is cheap, is safe, Nobody can compare of the Iranian gas with the LNG or LPG. You import LPG from Iran, yes, but that it is not. No one can.
So, as you see it, the IPI pipeline for Pakistan, at least, would be the most viable one in terms of cost. Now, so it brings me, Your Excellency, to the very last question. You've just had a very successful election in Iran, and President Rouhani was re-elected. He promised that he will give more rights to women. He promised that he will free political prisoners. Do you think he will live up to his promises?
The main aspect of the election that was impressive for us is 77% participation in these elections. Some countries, it is very interesting, some countries that they asked like this, that our president also said this matter, that it is very interesting that some countries criticized us. They have no election in their countries. Their women, they have no right for driving. How can they come and ask about some questions about one country?
But sir, in our country, our Prime Minister Gilani, when he was sworn into power, he immediately released all political prisoners that were taken in under General Musharraf. So therefore I ask you the question, because we do free our political prisoners, do you intend to free yours?
It is not my business, my dear sister. You know, Iran is an independent country. Nobody can interfere, and nobody can say, do this or don't do that. It means that everything will be done according to the Iranian national interests.
Right.
And because of this, maybe we need for some drastic measures. Be sure about it. Be sure about it. If any government in the world, not Iran, if not supported by the peoples, never comes 77%. And it is absolutely clear you have some persons that they are not agree with you. You should tolerate, you should be more tolerate, and so try the base for the cold. And something else, please look at the Iran situation and all of the country in the region up to Western countries. Iran is the island of this calm and security.
His Excellency, thank you so much. You have given a very clear message to Pakistan that it can act as a mediator between Saudi Arabia and Iran. Certainly the big news over here. That's all, and good night.